Hi guys, today we're at the Classica Refugium near Stuttgart, not far away from here. It's probably one of the best kept places in the automotive sector, the Porsche Development Center in Weissach. And as you can see in the background, today we're going to give you a special insight into the heart of it, the Porsche Design Studio. We will unveil exclusively some studies that have been well-kept secrets up to now. So here's a little sneak peek for, stay tuned for our Porsche Talk Unseen. And here is our next guest. He's a photographer and the editor of the magazine Curves, Stefan Bogner. Great to have you here. Hi, Stefan.
Thank you. Hi.
You were involved in that project from the very first moment. So tell us something. How did that project came about, and how much persuasion did you have to put into it to convince the people that it's a good idea to show all those insights into the sacred halls of the design studio?
Well, the birth of Unseen was while taking pictures already of some cars. And I know the Porsche brand through the 356, through the 911, through the race cars, Boxster, of course. And there's so much more going on in Weissach. I would call it the Weissach vibe. And there was a simple question while we had some good coffee at your studio. Why don't we show it to the public? A very easy question, actually. So that's how it started.
So you created a hashtag for right now, the Weissach vibe, very cool. But Michael, I have to ask you that. How many calls did you have to make to convince your colleagues and all the other guys in your office to say, yeah, that's a good idea, let's show it to the audience?
That's another secret, not of the car industry. That's my secret. There were some, let's say, talks, meetings, because it's very unusual for the car industry to show this secret stuff to the public.
Yeah, but we're so happy that you decided to do that, actually. And now we come to our next revelation moment. And I think we can lift here that. And I just tell the people that this is the Porsche Vision Spider. And maybe, Michael, you can tell us, what is the basic idea of this design study?
Yeah, again, always different starting points, but as well, based on the discussions during our espresso meetings, it's always this smaller, puristic, reduced car where basically the Porsche brand took its start. That's always something we are dealing with in that special case. And we have done different models. In that special case, it was all about trying to build up a relation to a historic car, the 550, and that was then the inspiration. And we took some elements like the painting or how the fenders are done. We took this inspiration from the back.
From the past, from the James Dean past. I see the sparkle in the eyes, and I hand over to you, Stefan.
I just, it's very nice. This car means a lot to me because I just do a book about the 550 Spider for 2 years already. And we just drove 2 cars on the Alpine Road. It's such a fantastic small car. And that's, I think, the DNA of Porsche is small and powerful and light, and this car reflects it perfectly. You know, it's not big, it's very small. It has all the little details from the 550, like the back here, the fender. You know, it's called Little Rebel, you can't see. You see all the air intakes. Of course, the color blocking silver red is so nice. So it's just, I think, a perfect new interpretation of the 550, of the Legend.
I want to jump in with a question because I know your magazine from very cool cars on a curvy road, but now you have here a static car in a clean environment. How difficult was it to take those cool and fancy pictures?
Very easy.
Yeah, it was.
Because the design was so
You
exciting.
can't say anything different, I know.
Of course, I like them driving more, but the cars are so beautiful. And the concept was taking pictures at their birthplace. We just had 20 meters around the studio to take pictures. But everybody who sees that car, even not moving, imagines his own picture. One is drives somewhere around San Francisco. The other mind is somewhere in the Alpine Road. So it's okay to not drive it.
So, Michael, the origin idea or the origin car you looked at was the 550 of James Dean. So what impressed you most and inspired you most of that car back then?
Yeah, in general, if we do a design, one thing is just the surface treatment and the design. But we always want to express and let's say influence the fantasy of customers that look at the car. And again, James Dean as an actor with the 550, this is really an experience at itself. And as a designer working for Porsche, you have to look back to that car because it's not just the shape of the car, it's everything that you, let's say, connect with this. And we wanted to bring all of this feeling, even though none of the designer who worked on this was born at that time back there. But that was the idea, to bring this into the design of that car, that when people look at it, no matter if it's driving or standing around, that you immediately have all these pictures in your mind.
Maybe you can show us some details here, what is very interesting from your designer perspective.
Yeah, again, what I said, first of all, and as Stefan mentioned, it's a small, very compact car, which is really a challenge. We were talking about technologies with today's technology, so very compact. Then as well, details where we wanted to introduce new design elements, for example, this headlamp. The 550 Spider had these round headlamps. So that could be maybe the next evolution of that headlamp. Then, as we said, with this color scheme, very subtle hints to the past. Then on the back again, it is the treatment of the surface, the tension that is in these surfaces is typical Porsche, is the modern characteristics, but again with some elements you can easily see the connection to this 550 Spider. And that's how we try to do things, even when we look back into history, that it is not a replica, but it's a modern interpretation of the theme back there.
So Stefan, if I allowed you to take just one picture of a detail of the car, what would you choose?
I would choose the back.
Again.
Yeah, again the back. I love this detail. It's of course something Porsche lovers like, because they know what this means. Yeah. So I'm going for this line.
Okay.
And Michael, you've been a chief designer at Porsche since 2004. That makes you only the third chief designer after Ferdinand Alexander Porsche, and he is well known as a functionalist. So do you have that spirit always in your mind when you design cars and even when you test things with your design studies?
We try hard, and I think whenever you have a car or a brand like Porsche, when cars has this performance, you even have to stick to the functionality, because an air intake has a function. Either it's cooling from the engine, from the brakes, or it's aerodynamics. So I think we very much live this culture and try to give each and every detail a function. But as I said as well, even the design itself has the function to excite people.
Stefan, what was your first thought when you saw that car the first time?
Wow. Very easy, actually. Yeah. Yeah, drive it right now.
All right.
Yeah.
So at the end, I want to know, because it's a design study, which information did you take out of it to use it for other design studies, or was it just like, oh gosh, this was a playground for designers and it was so cool, but we can't use anything of it?
So that was definitely the case, that we had a lot of fun working on this. Again, it shows that we as designers have a very good idea how we can further develop the design language, the surface language. We showed as well that a small car could be very attractive. And as I mentioned with the headlamps, even in the details, there will be a lot of inspiration for future products. But still, as a designer, you always hope and keep your fingers crossed that your ideas once hit the road.